This rainy day is temporary. The content. Sunshine sent to town away. Day. All right, fucker.
Yo, Paul, we're live, bro.
Are we? Yeah. Nice. 3 minutes we've been recording? Jesus.
Let's party. Always a party. Let's go, party.
Hey, baby. What's up? How we doing?
I'm feeling a little bad about myself.
I'm feeling bad about myself, too.
that's not good positive vibes going into a show.
No, we're feeling good. We hope everyone's feeling great out there. Thank you for listening.
No, but I was genuinely not feeling good about
But
myself.
why? You're here. You're having a good time.
So, Paul, you follow me on Instagram. You saw I was at Dave & Buster's yesterday.
Yeah, I love that place. I'm there all the time.
I woke up today because I was there yesterday. Arm sore.
From what?
From throwing the footballs, shooting the basketball, throwing the pong balls. I'm 25 years old. My arm can't be getting sore from a day at Dave & Buster's.
Yeah, it's like day at the arcade.
I'm too young to be getting sore from that shit.
You just got to start working out. See, I'm there all the time. Never sore when I leave.
Do you have like a season pass?
I have. What's so funny, actually, we were talking a bunch of my friends about this the other day, where one night we went to Dave & Buster's, like on a whim. We just kind of said, oh, let's all meet at Dave & Buster's.
Yeah.
We were going to the bowling alley, but it had an hour wait. So Dave & Buster's was next to it. So we walked to Dave & Buster's, and everyone didn't know how much money to like put on their card because we're like, we don't know how long we're gonna be here, right? And
did you get a physical card?
yeah, but
see, like we used the app and we just walked right in, which was
app?
very weird. It felt very illegal. Like there's an app. And we just walked in. We loaded it ourselves with a debit card, and we just walk in, and you could use your phone to scan the games.
I'm at Dave & Buster's all the time. Never seen that.
There you go.
No, I need a card.
I preferred the card because when we had to do two players, we had to scan it like separately. I didn't like that. I wanted the card.
Okay, so what's so funny is we went to Dave & Buster's like on a whim, and no one knew what to buy. And it was funny because out of the 6 of my friends, 4 of us all had our cards like ready to go. Like I have my card
like in your wallet at all times, locked and loaded.
In my wallet.
You should get a holster, just Dave & Buster's.
Get my Dave & Buster's card on me all times. You never know when you're gonna need it. And what's so funny about it is a lot of my friends were like, "What the hell, dude? Like, how often you come here?" And then then I scan it. I show them how many tickets I have. Over 30,000.
Oh, so you're saving up for a big prize.
Something I don't know what it is, but we're saving up.
I will say this though, because we had the phone app, like I said, it was a little bit dangerous. Because as we ran out of tickets, we would just deposit $25. We spent $75 in an hour and a half. My mom was like, "You're nuts! You spent $75." First of all, I gotta address this. Mom's a big fan of the show. She's mad that I called them cheap last week because I said the Sixers tickets.
You did, yes.
I was like, "Yeah, my parents are cheap. We used to sit in the rafters."
Calling you out, man.
Very upset. She's like, "I guess you could call me cheap if you're gonna go spend $75 for an hour and a half at Dave & Buster's." But it is a good vibe in Dave & Buster's. I was surprised. It's almost because I remember when you told me the arcade games are basically like casinos for kids. Like they're getting
it really is.
And as soon as I walked in, like first time I've been to Dave & Buster's in a while, I'm like, oh my god, this is a casino for kids. Like they even had like no Deal or No Deal, or they had all these different games that are legit casino games.
Yeah.
But just arcade mode.
Yep.
Which is insane. But the vibe's cool. They had March Madness games going on. You can go get a beer at the bar. A lot of kids there.
You were there on a Saturday night, though.
I know. Saturday's like Saturday evening.
So, well, still, you're like, that's prime time.
I felt pretty shitty about myself. I was playing that Pong game they have.
Yeah.
Where it's like legit beer pong, but they don't advertise it as that.
Yeah.
And you have to hit every cup in like a minute. I'm there. I'm cooking. I mean, I'm hitting all the pocket of pong ball right here. I'm cooking. This little 5-year-old's right next to me staring at me watching the game. I'm like, kid, like I felt like degraded. Like I've been to a lot of parties in my life, little Johnny. You know, maybe one day you'll be able to be a sharpshooter like this. But beat a kid in the water game. Felt good about myself. How's that feel, kid? Beat the shit out of that kid. It's just not physically.
One day.
Yeah, I whipped his ass in that water game.
It's just a good vibe. I mean, I've always been there. I like going, as I told you before, I like going for like 20, 30 minutes at a time. There's one very close to my house, so I'm fortunate. And, you know, Dave & Buster's really has been expanding. They've been expanding. The one you went to was like a smaller one that opened up a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Very
nice inside.
Yeah, we were used to, I mean, when I was younger, the only one was in Philadelphia, and it was a big place. Like, I remember going to Dave & Buster's as a kid with my family, and it was a day trip. It was like,
Right.
oh, Sunday, you know what? We're gonna have breakfast. We'll go to. What do you want to do today? We went to Dave and Buster's. My dad would each give us like a $20 playing card, and then The thing was too where we'd eat first. We'd always
Right.
eat at Dave and Buster's, and some of those meals have like $5 playing cards attached
Oh,
to
that's
them.
how they get you. It's legit casino for kids.
It really is. But I love Dave and Buster's.
Is their
and,
food good? We didn't eat there because I
uh,
spent all my money on the goddamn games.
It's okay. Their drinks are great. I went just with a few of my friends, like I haven't seen in a long time in college, and we didn't know where to go. And we were like, let's just go to Dave and Buster's. And we didn't really play games. We kind of just ate there and had some drinks. Pretty fire.
I had like little expectations, like, oh, it's gonna be fun. But my hour and a half went by like that, and I was like, damn, this place is actually fun. I was gonna bring up about how we could cut this out if we have to, not to give up producer Drew more work. But like one of our ideas for a video is to do 10 hours in Dave and Buster's, or more, was maybe even 24 hours in Dave and Buster's.
It was something where like maybe I like the idea of doing 12 hours, but if we can figure out where like how long we could stay there.
I think at some point it might be a little too much. That would be a very good video.
Very expensive video.
Very
for
expensive
sure.
video. I was there for an hour and a half to save. But Dave and Buster's, good time. I saw you your mom planned because your stepdad likes Holy Moly, favorite show, right?
Loves Holy Moly.
So we had a
man.
Holy Moly themed birthday party. That's fucking awesome.
like a 68-year-old man.
That's fucking dope.
A 68-year-old man. My stepdad is a great person, and he loves golf. He's grew up his whole life golf. He teaches me how to play golf, and he loves the show Holy Moly.
Is that even still on?
It has 2 seasons. It's coming back for a 3rd season. It's like on ABC. Steph Curry produces it. Whatever, right? It's basically a combination of extreme mini golf plus like Wipeout.
Yeah, I was gonna say it has very like the script is like a Wipeout show.
It's a Wipeout show, and it was produced by ABC, same as Wipeout. So, but he loves that show. He thinks it's the funniest thing in the world, and he's been planning. He actually planned this for about a couple months.
He planned his own fucking birthday.
His own
He's
birthday
like, no, I
party.
like Holy Moly. My past birthday parties have not been great. I'm planning this one out for myself, so I know that I'm gonna have a good time.
Well, I realized his birthday. We went to last year. We went to Topgolf, and like those. I mean, that's so expensive. And you realize where we did this. It was 9 of us. It was 9 of us. And
Was this an actual place?
Yeah.
Or did they transform it into this?
No, this was an actual
Because
place.
the place looked fire.
Awesome. So this was a place in Philadelphia. I think it was called Liberty Grounds, and it was like a craft beer place that had a miniature golf course in the basement.
Fire.
But what's cool about the miniature golf course was that it was only 9 holes, but it spelt out Philly. So each hole was like it was, and then each hole was themed to a different part of Philadelphia.
Oh.
So like it was Philly, I think was 7 letters, and then they had 2 holes where the first hole I forget exactly what it was. The second hole was the art museum.
Oh.
And then
The steps.
yeah, the
Rocky
steps.
steps.
So it was really cool.
That I can't get up. I gotta get in shape. My
Hole-
arm's sore after going
Yeah.
to fucking Dave and Buster's,
I don't
and I
know.
can't get up the art museum steps.
Yeah, I mean, it was,
Surprised they're working out.
hole 4 was Boathouse Row.
Nice.
So like if
Never
you know,
been there, but
if you know
Looks nice.
Philly and you like, I mean, it was a 9-hole golf course. A miniature golf course. It was $10 to play, and we played it twice. We did like 2 because what was cool about it, he had a bracket.
like a little March Madness bracket.
Like like a Holy Moly bracket. He was calling it. He was like,
was
based
Steph
on-
Curry there? Hosting it?
we had him on the screen. But it was
Well, the holes couldn't be that complicated, right? Because you don't have too much room. Like it can't be like a full blown miniature golf course.
it wasn't. But I mean, because you were doing letters, it actually made
they were
course-
actual letters.
It was
like you were
P-
talking about.
It was like Philly. So it was like hole
P.
number 3 was a P. So it was a very large P. There was a keg in the middle, and then they added some little things like in the P to make it a little more difficult. But
Did you have to rent out, or it was just like open in
it
public?
was just an open public, but we had a scheduled time to do like a tea time.
fire. I saw you won.
I
So,
did
you
win.
win anything?
Yeah.
You couldn't even let Wally win on his birthday.
How do you let someone win miniature golf? It's like hard. I
I
mean,
definitely didn't let that kid win that water game. I would let him get the sauce.
but I won. Wally, I think he bought last time he went to Augusta. He had like a deck of playing cards. So it's the Masters playing cards,
Oh,
and it's
okay.
like so we can gamble with them and a little bit of golf. It's a good time.
it is. Masters around the corner. I'm so excited for the Masters.
I'm a couple weeks, baby. We're ready.
The Masters are such a good time. All right, so we'll get into the show here. A little bit of a Disney themed show here, Paul.
Very Disney themed. I'm pumped for this one.
So we're gonna go down a list of the. So basically, we found an article online of these writers. Like I guess they're Disney beat writers, I guess you could say.
Idea, yeah.
And they came up with a list of their most overrated rides at Disney. So we're going to go down and see if we agree if these rides are overrated or not. Oh, they're not just rides. Are they just rides? Oh, they are just rides. So
all
these
rides,
are
yes.
all rides. See if they're overrated, underrated, or if we agree with them. Let's see. These are all overrated in their eyes. Here we go. The first one, Paul, is Tomorrowland Speedway. So one of the original Walt Disney World attractions, Tomorrowland Speedway, allows guests to race around a track in their own gas-powered race car, Paul. So while some consider the ride a classic, the readers rank this as the 8th most overrated attraction at Disney World, citing the slow speeds and the scent of the fumes caused by the gas-powered vehicles were big negatives, and this is why they said that this ride was overrated. Do you agree with that, Paul?
100% agree. There's a lot of bad things about this ride.
The's a lot.
There's a lot of bad things about
Can I
this
say
ride.
my one bad thing before
Sure.
you get into the details?
Go ahead.
I hate rides that have. I was getting really intimate there. I hate rides that it makes it seem like you're in charge, but you're not. Like you're not like go-karts. You're in charge of that. Like
Correct.
if it goes off, you can go off track. You could be bad at go-karting. This, you're on a little freaking. What is that even called?
You're on like a track.
Yeah,
There's
you're
like
on a
a
track. So it's
yeah.
like you're pretending to ride a thing. Little Johnny's waving at his mom. It doesn't matter if he's not paying attention. You're still gonna follow the track.
Yes.
So I hate those kind of.
But
rides.
there's a reason behind that.
Why?
So at Disney, actually, a couple years ago when they came out with Disney Plus for the first, when it launched, they had the Imagineering story, which was an episode. Each episode kind of took the background of a ride and like its existence and how it came to be and all the problems with it, right? And in Disneyland, it's the same ride. It's called Autopia, and same idea. And the problem was they didn't have the track. It was like it was a go-kart. It was a go-karts originally, but people keep bumping into each other. People weren't going fast enough. People were going off the track. Like you have little kids driving the car, right? Like that's the problem. So this way, this ride allows kids to drive, but it keeps them on a track. It does kind of blow, but it's whatever.
It reminds me of a ride. We went to King's Dominion one year.
Yeah.
And they had the Rugrats. I don't know if you ever saw this. They did away with it because obviously danger hazard. But Rugrats, they were basically little go-karts as Rugrats. And you could be like 6 years old riding it, and it had like red lights, stop signs,
That's
yellow
dope.
lights, green lights, but you weren't on a track. Like it was legit.
Like, it
so
was
we
like
have like
go-karts.
old homeschool footage of my brother at 6 years old driving the Rugrats cart. He's running red lights. They had to get him off the track. He's like, get this crazy driver off. He does not belong behind the wheel here. So I can see why this makes sense.
And that was one of the big problems when it first came out. But why I hate it now, there's a lot of reasons why I hate it now. One is the vehicles. So it's supposed to be Tomorrowland. It's supposed to be futuristic, right? They're
Right.
all gas-powered vehicles. So
That's
one,
not futuristic.
no, not futuristic. Two, it's loud as shit in the land. It's like it makes so much noise in that land, which like I think destroys the ambient sound, destroys, your immersion in that land. And two, it smells. It smells of gasoline.
Yeah.
It's awful. I mean, as I said, you're supposed to be futuristic. How hard would it be
To update it.
to update it?
Yeah.
Like make them electric vehicles. I don't know why they don't do it. It probably would save them so much money, so much.
Oh, as if they're not making enough money now.
No, but at the end of the day, right? Like Disney right now, especially, is in these cost-cutting measures, and they're not producing new rides. I mean, they are, but they put a lot of new rides on the shelves, and they did, they're doing all these budget cuts. That's one ride that is super famous, isn't going anywhere. It's like, why not just update the ride with electric vehicles?
Yeah, so what I was going to ask is, has the public opinion of this on Tomorrowland been like this for a while?
I think for a while, but the problem is it's so popular. So like it's so popular, so like why should they change anything, right? Like you say, why fix something if it's not broke? And this ain't broke.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, it's broke. Let's fix it.
It doesn't really make sense. Like,
Let's
maybe it's just one of those things where it's so historic,
maybe
which we're going to get to a couple of those things. Like, they don't feel like they have to change it.
they
but-
don't know. It's historic, and they feel as though they don't have to change it. As I said, like I think it works well, and it obviously is very popular. But at the same time, like you should modernize it. Like if you want to be the leader, as Disney is supposed to be the leader in theme parks, it's a clear thing that should be done. It's probably not that hard. Just do it.
Yeah, but then what's like the advantage of them putting more money and time
It's
into
not
it?
that there
There's
is no
really
there's
none.
no advantage. So as a company, they were like, why put all this? And that's the same thing with the monorails. So a lot of people talk about the Disney World monorails. They are, I think the lifespan is like 20 to 30 years, and they're almost double their lifespan. They were made in the 70s was
Remember
the last
JFK
version.
was the first one on it or something, or Nixon.
No, Nixon. But that was in Disneyland.
Oh, sorry.
He's
different park.
he's trying to pull out facts.
I am the
but-
Disney guy.
But the monorails, perfect example, right? They are way over their lifespan, and they've had a lot of issues with them. But the problem is, it would cost them $500 million to replace the Disney World monorails, and it is there's no reason Disney to do it. Like, they're not going to get any profit off replacing monorails, right? Like, it's not a new attraction. It's not why people would pay extra money to go to Disney, or people, who haven't been there in a long time to return. It's just something to keep the parks updated, and because they're not seeing an exact profit return from that investment, they're not going to do it.
Yeah, and you would think,
Sucks.
but a counter argument on that is like, isn't that what made Disney famous in the first place? Because they had such high standards and would update those things. So why are they stopping now when they didn't used to stop?
Leadership, man. It's the new leadership. They
Is
care.
that what you think it is? Like, that's I know. Like, I was reading a couple
100%,
articles
yes.
on the stock market of Disney World, and they said like leadership was a big issue. What is he like on a contract? Like, how does that? Can they
Yeah.
like fucking overthrow the government of Disney World?
They
Like,
can. They can. The board holders can basically kick him out of the CEO. It's just like any business. But I think he is on a contract. I don't know how long the contract is. But right now, Bob Chapek, who is the CEO of Disney, the fans don't like him. The stockholders are iffy about him, and people have been talking about kicking him out for a while now. And most recently, there's been a lot of problems with Disney supporting a bill that's happening in Florida right now. It's going against a lot of the creative people and a lot of the just
what bill is that?
it's the Don't Say Gay bill.
That's what I thought it was.
But it was a Don't Say Gay bill, and it's like Disney has all these very famous gay people in their organization, and the voice of Mickey Mouse is gay. A lot of famous Imagineers who have created the parks and made them what they are gay, and it's like,
Yeah.
so he was backing that bill, and everyone's like, all right, dude, you'd be nowhere without gay
Yeah.
people. Like, really, you wouldn't be anywhere without
Mickey
it.
Mouse is fucking gay, so he runs the world. So
And how supportive, the LGBT community is so supportive of Disney. They
Right.
really make that company the way it is, and give how much support and how much money every day to the company. It's like, dude, the CEO is clearly making bad decisions. Let's kick him out.
that should be one of our vlog videos. Let's fly out to Disney and go on strike.
Do it.
Would that be the first time that anyone's ever
No.
gone on strike in Disney World?
You want to know? You want to know this? There has been a strike at Disney World.
Did you lead the charge?
I wish, bro. I wish. There's been a So at Disney World, Magic Kingdom, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. This is a ride in Magic Kingdom.
Fucking strike for Mr. Toad.
Dude, I'm telling you,
Wild
bro.
ride.
This was a ride at Magic
We
Kingdom.
want Mr. Toad. We want Mr. Toad.
You're laughing. It was a real thing. So I think Winnie the Pooh, The Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, is the ride that replaced Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, and people were so pissed because that was the original day attraction that when they announced they were getting rid of that ride, a group came together and basically were striking, and had as you said, had signs. We're trying to go against Disney to get them to not take away the ride. Clearly didn't work, but super funny instance.
Yeah, that's funny.
Disney fans for you.
We want Mr. Toad.
Second one we got here, overrated attractions that these people think. The Navi River Journey. This is in Pandora, the world of Avatar, over in Animal Kingdom. This is a boat ride. I've been on this ride once or twice. It's pretty boring. There's nothing that's really crazy about this ride. I think the reason for this ride in particular, Animal Kingdom didn't really have a boat attraction, and when they were building the world of Avatar, Pandora, they had this amazing attraction in what's that called? Flight of Passage. They had an amazing attraction in Flight of Passage.
Flight of Passage.
It's an amazing
You're welcome.
attraction. You're welcome. Thank you.
It must be delayed. Like these.
Yes.
It must be coming a little delayed to you.
I'm not paying attention.
Flight
Yeah.
of Passage.
But amazing ride, right? And probably one of the best rides at Disney. And I think they just needed a second attraction, and they didn't have a boat ride, so they did that. And not gonna lie, it's pretty boring. They have a really cool animatronic that is probably one of the best animatronics and most technologically advanced animatronics at the Walt Disney World parks. But as an overall attraction, it's super boring.
All right, let me ask you this: was this ride just overrated or is it overhyped? Like, was there a lot of hype going into this ride and just was a letdown, or is just the ride sucked that bad?
The thing is, I don't think anyone thinks it's amazing, so I wouldn't say it would
So
be
it just sucks
overrated.
that bad.
I don't think anyone would say it's overrated.
Where are there animatronics in this boat ride?
Yeah, like on the side.
Would you say it's a missed opportunity in using these great animatronics with this boat ride? Like they could have came up with a better idea.
Yeah, that's perfect.
They should hire me, Disney. We'll go on strike and then we'll just take over fucking Disney World.
Because that's what they do, right? They hire people who
Give
go
me
against
Mr.
them.
Toad. Yeah. Oh, I'm up. Here we go. Sorry. Getting involved in that conversation. Dinosaur, Paul. That ride. I don't know if you like it. We're going to find out. So this is a rockin' Jeep ride. Takes guests way back in time in search of a iguanodon dinosaur. So several commentators pointed out that they found the ride less scary than jerky. The writer said that the ride was a little too rough for them, Paul. So how do you feel with them? I think we talked about this pre-show. You completely disagree. Or you think it's stupid?
Dinosaur is one of the best rides at Disney World. It is such an amazing ride. They say, hey, this ride is jerky. Sorry, you're on a Jeep, dude. Like the idea of the attraction is you're supposed to be
on a Jeep
rocking on the Jeep. I wish the property was better. The IP, Dinosaur was basically a flop for Disney, the movie when it came out in the early 2000s. And, they have Dinoland USA and Animal Kingdom, which should be completely gutted and renovated, and everyone should be a better land. But I love dinosaurs, so cool with me. And the ride in general, the ride system is what they use for Indiana Jones over in Disneyland. It's an amazing ride system, and it works really well with the dinosaur idea.
With spring break approaching and the sun coming out, everyone is looking for a partner to impress. There are a lot of things your partner could like. Some prefer tall guys, some prefer big butts, but no one, and I mean no one, prefers their men with smelly, unkept nuts. That's why our friends at Manscaped developed their improved Lawnmower 4.0 to keep the weeds out of your crotch garden. Before you head out on your spring trip, make sure you're groomed from the ball to the tip. Join the Manscaped movement by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with the code Life's a Party. So, Paul, I'm tall. I don't have a big butt, but damn it, I got a clean bush.
Looking good no matter what's going on.
What are you saying? I'm looking good there?
I mean, we're both looking good. I mean,
you said looking good as if you've seen mine. I don't know if that's happened yet. I don't know if we could just say yeah. It's not.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about it. You know what I mean? But Manscaped, it makes sure you're looking good, and specifically with spring break.
Yes,
you can use it on more than just your nuts.
You could, and if you're looking to explore nude beaches, I don't know if that's something you're interested in.
Maybe that's your spring break. Honestly, if we don't judge which beach you go to.
No,
but if
we judge your bush,
we will judge it. So use Manscaped for sure. And if you don't have Manscaped, get 20% off with our free shipping with the code Life's a Party at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with our code Life's a Party at manscaped.com. Manscaped for when you want to be caught with your pants around your ankles.
All right, so this is going to be the first time I'm bringing this up on this episode. This is going to make me seem like I'm not the Disney guy, but I am, deep down.
What don't you know?
No, why am I just getting, why am I linking Ellen to dinosaur? Is that wrong?
No, you're right.
No, you're 100%.
There's a reason. So what happened? What you're thinking
It's been a while, but for some reason, when I think of dinosaur, I think of Ellen.
So there was two dinosaur attractions. Well, there's Dinoland USA, which is in the Animal Kingdom. It's a mini land. And then there was also Ellen's. Drew, help me out. Ellen's.
Dude, I was fucking 10 when I went there.
You don't know the attraction?
I don't remember it.
I want to call Ellen's Energy.
Let me look it up.
Ellen's Energy something.
Ellen's Energy Adventure.
This was an attraction.
Ellen's Energy Adventure.
Okay, so you had.
Fucking
Is that what you said? Is that what you said?
Once again, through here, it's just getting a little delayed over there. Ellen's Energy Adventure.
So
1996 to 2017. Yep,
so yeah,
spot on.
you had.
I was born.
You had Ellen's Energy Adventure.
And they were like, Ellen's Energy Adventure.
But you had this ride, Ellen's Energy Adventure in Epcot, and this was it's right next to Mission Space in Epcot. And it was this very large ride, and it would take you through history, I think, or parts of history. And I remember that ride, I think, started with dinosaurs. So that's probably where your brain's going.
Yeah, that ride was fucking boring.
Yeah, that's a boring ride. It's a boring ride.
All right, next one, Paul.
Next one, Disney Classic Ride. Everyone has a very strong opinion on this ride. This is It's a Small World. Do you think it's overrated? Well, at least people did. It's a Small World is another classic Disneyland and Disney World attraction, and one of the most famous rides Disney has ever made. And what's funny about this ride in particular is that the people who wrote the song "It's a Small World" hate it.
I don't disagree with that in
And
one
a
bit.
lot
was
of
it
people-
like designed to stick in people's head? Wasn't it? Wasn't It's a Small World made with the beat and the words so that it would stick into people's heads?
I
Like,
think
that
the
was a
idea of
thing.
It's a Small World was made so that it could be translated very easily to other cultures in different languages. 'Cause
Oh
that's
yeah,
the
I think I
idea,
heard
right?
that.
And I
yeah.
think that's why. I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah, the song does fucking suck. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
Fuck that
I
ride,
actually
man.
hate. Like, it's very like you like think of like
It's a
dolls that like
small
haunt you while you're sleeping.
world.
You think of these people. I mean, there's a bunch of
It's a
stories that I think we've been
small
through. Come some conspiracy
world.
theories on like
It's
what
a
has happened
small
in the Small World ride. Like it never
It's a
shuts off,
small,
right? Like you just.
No, it does. I mean, they have to shut it down because
It doesn't it stay on 24/7?
No, there's no shot.
I heard it stays on 24/7.
that would be creepy. That's a conspiracy. That's
it's
wrong.
not even like creepy anymore for me. It's just the fact that my parents drug me onto that fucking ride every time we went there. And then I went there with my buddy Ivan, and he's like, "We're going on that ride. I don't care what the fuck you say."
It's a Small World is a classic Disney attraction. There's a lot
Fuck
of
that ride.
yeah, but there's
Fuck Walt. You know?
there, there's a lot of history.
Lot of
but-
history.
A lot of f-bombs going on.
There
this
is a
episode.
lot. There's a lot of
That's
history.
mostly my fault. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, it is. But it's also Drew. Drew is, you know,
Yeah, he has a potty
Drew.
mouth. We
Drew
addressed
says
this.
like 5 words every episode, and one of them's fuck.
Yeah. It's like he just lets out all the fucks once he gets in here. What's fucking up, guys? Like, the real. Let's just, hello. Let's just
reel
get
it
to work
back.
here. Yeah.
But back to Disney. You know, classic ride. People think it's overhyped, overrated. What
Is
do you
there
think?
ever a wait for that line?
Yeah.
Imagine waiting an hour and a half for it. Really?
There's
Every
yeah.
time I,
What you usually walk on?
dude, we were in line forever. It was like an hour and a half. Oh, what were we trying to get on? It's a Small World.
Every time I've gone on it recently, it's just been like, "All right, you're on."
I mean, I'd prefer that. I don't want to wait for that ride. But I feel like sometimes going to Disney, it's almost a must do.
What's the longest you've ever waited for a ride?
The longest I've ever waited for a ride was Disney, and it was Flight of Passage
Flight of Passage.
at Animal Kingdom. The ride that we were talking about, the Animal Kingdom.
How long was that?
I waited 3 hours for it.
And it's how long of a ride? Like pretty decent.
Yeah, but
It's a boat ride?
It's no. It's like a simulator ride. You're like on a. The idea is you're flying on the back of what's called a banshee.
An
And
animal?
Yeah, I mean it's an animal in the Avatar world, but you're like
Oh, yeah.
flying and you're kind of sitting on like
Like a motorcycle.
You're like bent over,
Oh yeah.
and it
Arch
is
your
one of the
back?
coolest rides
It's fucking awesome.
ever, dude. It's
Was
amazing.
it worth it?
100%.
100%.
You're telling me a ride is worth 3 hours of
100%.
wait?
100%.
Was it as
No
was it scorching hot
way!
was it scorching hot when you went?
I don't. No,
It
I
was
went.
like 90 degrees and humid as shit when I went.
I went in
So worth it though.
January. I went in January of 2018, and the ride opened in 2017. And I remember waiting 3 hours for it. The queue is awesome too. Like it was a very interactive queue. There's a lot going on.
Oh,
lots
that's
to
what's
look
good
at.
about Disney World. At least they like entertain while you're in line.
Yeah, they
Yes.
also have a. There was something that me and my buddy Ivan did when we went there. We actually they
The-
had
the play
app.
app?
Yeah, they had the play
Yeah.
app. And you can actually play along while you're.
I was gonna ask, like, what's the best thing that they do for people who go to Disney World while they wait in line?
So there's the Disney Play app, what he was talking about, and
That's newer?
it's newer and
Somewhat.
it's like depending on what ride you are. I mean, I know Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is one of them where you can interact with games like in the queue, like if you're on the app, and you can play games. And
What do
it's
you
just
play?
like
People online?
what? No, I think you just play. I don't know. You just play the game.
It depends on what ride you're on.
Is that
Yeah.
what else they got? Anything else?
Yeah.
I mean, they got a lot of cool things to look at. I mean, Avatar Flight of Passage. When you get close to the to getting on the ride, there's a really cool. I guess it's not an animatronic, but it's basically from the movie where you have like the alien species
yeah,
in like a tube,
In the tube.
and
yeah.
it's like,
I
dude,
have-
it's amazing to
I
look
have a
at.
picture of that. I'll put it up here so you guys can see it.
Oh,
It's
now
a-
he wants to put pictures up. Once his fucking picture, he wants to put it up. In
I've
there.
been editing the shows.
It's a really cool picture. So
Oh, I'll put this one up. It's a small world. Do we have anything else on that? No,
that
just
ride.
don't
No.
go ride it.
don't go right.
Do you think they'll ever get rid of it?
No shot. It's a classic.
Put that thing in a museum where it belongs. No one needs it.
All right, next one is Test Track. So out of all the rides on the list, all the readers who picked Test Track seem to be in agreement on why they thought the ride was overrated. So the general consensus seemed to be that the original Test Track, when the ride was sponsored by General Motors, was superior, with the readers declaring the newer installment to be inferior and ultimately, in their opinions, overrated. So Paul, you could probably elaborate a little more on this. So people like the original Test Track when it was partnered with General Motors compared to the newer updated Test Track?
Yeah, there's two main differences. The old version was very like how to make the car.
Right.
because it's based on
I thought the newer one you could make a car.
yeah,
too.
but it's very different. I mean, the similarities are you're like testing a vehicle, like that's the idea, right? You're like in a testing lab. They're doing like the brakes and they're doing the
I thought
engine.
it was like fake though.
I
Like
mean,
the first one.
It is fake.
I'm not actually building a car.
You're not. No, you're not.
My whole life's a lie.
The best part of the ride is the last 30 seconds. They do like the test run, and you get to like actually speed. It goes up to
Well,
maybe.
didn't they like increase the miles per hour?
No, I think it's like 60 miles an hour.
they brought it down.
Probably. I mean, it's not the best ride. And the thing is,
Well,
I
it's one of
agree.
the most popular at the park.
That's why it's overrated because it's not that great a ride, but it's ridiculously long wait. I don't
What is
want
that?
to wait.
Epcot.
It's in Epcot, yeah.
So let's say you take Test Track, which is probably what 2 in Epcot, 1 in Epcot.
It's probably
ranked rides.
one or two, yeah.
All right, you take Test Track, you put it into oh no,
Bracket.
no, not in the bracket. What the fuck? Once again, it's gonna make me seem like not the Disney guy. What's the main park called again?
Magic Kingdom.
You take Test Track.
This guy.
You take Test Track, number 2 ride at Epcot, and you put it in the Magic Kingdom. Where does it rank ride wise?
Probably would still
Okay.
do top.
Okay, you take Test Track, number 2 at Epcot, still top 3 at Magic Kingdom. You take it, move it to Animal Kingdom. Where does it rank?
Probably pretty close.
Top 2.
Top.
So what you're
Top.
saying?
No, not top 2.
So what you're saying is
It'd be-
like
it'd
it's
be
overrated
great.
because it's in Epcot, but we just went through a couple parks, and you think it still would be top 2 at those parks?
I mean, from a thrill
Gotcha.
seeker. No, but from a thrill seeker.
Fucking killed me, dude.
We're gonna have to edit that one out
From a thrill seeker.
for my public image.
I think it's a good, it's a good attraction if
Well,
you're
we've been
trying
through
to
this.
do thrills.
Disney World doesn't have thrill rides. They
I
don't.
know. So yeah, so a ride that isn't, I purposely don't think it's amazing in general.
Okay.
But could be one of the best rides for a thrill
I
seeker
see what you're saying.
in any park.
I see what you're saying. So it's almost advertised as one of the thrill rides at
Correct.
Disney. So you have higher expectations. So in that sense, it sucks because you think of it as a thrill ride,
Correct.
but it's not.
Oh my god, that fucking killed me.
What's
Pur-
the fucking
purpose.
We're going on strike.
Yeah.
Give us Mr. Toad back. Am I up or are you up?
I am. The next one we got, overrated attraction. I think, I don't know. I like this attraction. I think it's,
Well, why don't you freaking tell them what we're talking about?
well, hold on. I'm explaining, dude. Relax over there. Okay. So the attraction, this is Frozen Ever After. A surprisingly large number of new riders made the list, new rides made this list, including 2016's Frozen Ever After. Readers who named Frozen Ever After as their top pick wrote that they were disappointed the ride was a newly themed overlay to its predecessor, Maelstrom. Many commentators mentioned that they wish the franchise as big as Frozen has gotten its own original ride layout, which I agree to, as opposed to a retheme of the Maelstrom ride system.
This seems lazy. Why are you going to come out with this big monster movie blockbuster and just copy your ride and just change the theme?
So a lot of that, right?
It's called a cash cow.
It's yeah, exactly, right?
What'd you call me?
And I agree to this. But it does kind of make sense because what happened was you had this ride Maelstrom. This was a boat ride. It
What
wasn't
the hell is that? Is that like based off of like a
Maelstrom. It was I
like
forget
an
what-
IP or something?
No, so in Epcot you have World Showcase and you have all the pavilions that are based off each country, right?
Yeah.
So you have Norway, and Norway had a boat ride called Maelstrom, and it was basically the story of Vikings and like the history of Norway, right? And you have Frozen, which is based in Norway. So you have this perfect collaboration where you have a franchise that was breaking box office records, and for Disney to try to make as much money and bring in the audience, bring on all this popularity from their movie, what's like the best way to do that? Create a ride. But what they did was they said, hey, we have this ride that's not very popular. It would fit perfectly in this park. It would fit perfectly in this land. Let's just do it. It's quick. It's easy for
I was
them.
gonna say it seems like a timing thing where they realized
Yes.
how big this movie was, but then that's also like lack of preparation. I feel like that's shitty preparation.
You
'cause
just
if you
never know.
Because I'm assuming I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I would assume that Frozen's budget was pretty up there.
It was normal for Disney Animation at the time.
Okay, then I see where maybe the movie had better reviews or had more pop in the pop
Well-
culture realm where it's like, okay, we need a ride faster than
Yeah.
what we can actually make one.
And it's way cheaper to reskin an existing attraction because they don't have to build anything new. It's just some new animatronics, some reskinning of
Well,
like
what the fuck's he talking about? Cash cow.
He's basically saying where Disney, they realized how much money they were making and how can you continue that, right? And a lot of it's with merchandising and continuing the IP and what's new. You just build a ride.
Frozen was a big cash cow for them. And I mean, they made another.
There's a lot of
film out
money.
that.
Yeah,
It
I
made
get
a
it.
lot of money.
A lot of things went into merchandising for that show. I mean, or that TV, that
Movie. Got there.
You-
He's
you-
nervous.
you
He's
couldn't
not on
go-
the show often. As
You
well.
can go into Walmart for 5 seconds and not see something Frozen related in like the toy aisle. It's just impossible.
So
Yeah.
they realized what they had on their hands, and they decided to try to do something quicker than, and take advantage of the popularity at the time, where most of those rides will take anywhere from 2 to 5 years to envision, create, build, and make. You know what I mean?
All right, couple questions.
Yeah.
Disney guy.
I am the Disney.
What do
guy.
you got?
Is this the only Frozen ride?
I want to say
Did I
yes.
stump him?
No, I want to
That
say
wasn't a trick question.
That's actually insane.
I want to say yes. It's the only one in Walt Disney World. Clearly, there's not one in Disneyland, and I believe they're currently making a Frozen Land in Disneyland Paris.
They have 3 rides apparently, only 3.
Where?
One is the Norway Pavilion,
Yeah.
and the other ones they don't. It doesn't really say.
They're building a entire Frozen
Frozen Ever After. That's a log flume ride in Epcot.
Yeah.
And Maelstrom.
A log flume ride.
it's a boat ride, but it kind of there's some
Apparently,
dips and stuff.
Maelstrom was originally opened back in 1988, so I guess they just reskinned it. But it
Yeah,
was
that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, but it was closed in 2014.
Oh, wake
Yeah.
up there, producer Joe.
That's
what we're
I
going
was
through
talking
there.
about. Yeah. So
Are they? So I was gonna ask, are they building anything? Is Frozen done as a franchise and movie wise?
no shot. So they have
Like,
2 movies.
What's the ceiling here on how many more movies? Do you
I think
Frozen
at least one. I think they'll finish the trilogy for sure. And then because you had Frozen, which made over $1 billion, and then you had Frozen 2, which I believe beat the first one in box office revenue, which is
That's
the
fucking
purpose of it, releasing sequels to grow on the franchise. And I think they're probably, I mean, they're currently making it, Frozen 3, and I think just to finish the trilogy. But what's really interesting about Disney Animation is they never used to do that. I mean, they would never make sequels for theatrical releases anyway. And what happened,
Wait, what's that mean?
so you have Frozen, right? Frozen was released to the theaters, did really, really well. And then what they did was they made a sequel that also went to theaters. Disney used to never do that.
I thought they did that with Cars.
The hell you do? Make a sequel and just leave it in
Pixar.
private?
Oh, because of the. Oh, okay.
And
gotcha.
Pixar also wasn't supposed to be doing that either. And then they, it's a money thing. It's like
Was Frozen the first one?
Frozen. No, I think
Well, like,
I
isn't
know
there other Peter Pans?
No, yes, but here's the difference. They were all straight to home releases. So you could buy it
Oh.
at like Walmart, you could buy it in your at like a video store or whatever. And the whole reason
Yeah, I was
for
gonna say why.
like Aladdin, right? You have Aladdin. There is an Aladdin 2 and there's Aladdin 3, but they're all straight to home releases. They were never released theatrically. They're not as popular and they didn't have a wide release. And most of those films, the reason for their release is to go on the popularity of the franchise, but for the most part, it would train animators. So those films were made by animators in training, and to better their skills, get used to the software, get used to everything, and get better, and then eventually would work on higher profile projects. But then it changed. It started to change. I mean, they did Wreck-It Ralph 2. Frozen is in that realm. I can't really think of any other Disney films. And then Pixar, when Pixar first came out, they had a contract with Disney when Disney bought them, where they weren't going to be doing sequels, like at all.
Yeah.
They weren't going to be doing sequels at all. And then Toy Story 2 was actually supposed to be straight to home release
Yeah.
because it was following that model that Disney always did. It
Right.
was like, we're never going to release a sequel to theaters. But what happened was that film was so good that they said, we have to release this in theaters.
Oh yeah, Johnny, what are you what are you doing in your life? Oh, I'm interning at Disney World. Oh, cool. Yeah. What kind of projects they got you doing? Yeah, I'm working on Toy Story 2 right now. It's my first job. It's my first project that gave me Toy Story 2.
But they were all supposed to be home releases, and then it just kind of changed where if you do have a film that is so popular, like Frozen, why are you not going to make a sequel?
It's
Like
so
you clearly
weird.
are.
It's so weird to have Toy Story 2 only in home releases.
It's just how the world has changed.
I mean, it would make sense now though,
well,
because like the VHS world was a lot wasn't as powerful as like a Netflix now. That would be almost the same thing, right?
So it would be like if
Well, that's
you
what they did with Hamilton, right? That wasn't theatric, was it? Was that in the theaters?
it was supposed to be, but
I
they
don't think it was. Oh,
they moved it to
COVID?
Disney Plus.
Yeah, so that's considered not a theatric
Not anymore.
release.
No, it's not. No, it was a Disney Plus release.
So it still happens.
Yeah, but and you can even see where I bet you a lot of those, instead of doing a sequel and like those home to video releases, those animators are probably working on like Disney Plus projects. So I know right now they're doing a Moana show, and they're also doing a Princess Tiana show from Princess and the Frog, and they're putting these animated shows on Disney Plus.
But like, what's the disadvantage of releasing it in the theaters?
What do you mean?
Public opinion, like does it cost a production company money to put their movie in the theaters?
Yeah, you got to promote it. You got to advertise it. Your point is anything.
So
you
if
put-
Robert De Niro acts in a movie, they have to pay for it to be in the movie theater.
they have pretty sure, yeah.
Like Tom Hanks has a new movie, it just doesn't automatically make the movie theater.
I mean, no, it's a distribute.
That is kind of stupid. Like, how would Cinemark make money then?
Yeah, it's a distribution thing. I mean, Disney.
I would be interested to see the prices and kind of like compare them. Like, how much is it for a production company to pay for the movie to be released in a Cinemark? Well, I guess it would just have to be there's got to be a bigger branch because it wouldn't just go to like Cinemark, right? It would have to go to AMC and
No,
shit.
they would have distributors, and it's like you'd figure out where it goes. It goes to AMC, it goes to Cinemark, it goes to Regal, right? And then like what other small time like theaters would also get the film, and then you're splitting the costs.
So there's like different packages. Like, oh, I want an AMC and Cinemark. I don't care about fucking Regal.
Yeah, I mean, you
I'd be interested to see those numbers. Like, that's interesting to me to make those kind of deals.
for sure.
All right, next one is Paul. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I think this is one of your favorite. I could be wrong. He's were you just doing this?
No.
Oh.
What?
No, he was pumping his chest for Seven Dwarfs over there. Since its debut in 2014, Seven Dwarfs Mine has consistently been one of the most popular rides at Magic Kingdom. Perhaps due to the popularity, our readers rank this as our second most overrated attraction at Disney World. Some of the reasons they gave included the ride's consistently longer wait times combined with the ride's length being relatively short. So this is what I talk about. I'm not going to wait 3 hours for a ride that I'm on for 25 seconds. It's not going to happen.
I agree.
Is this ride as short as they're making it seem like?
I don't think it's extremely short, and I do think it is one of the better coasters at Walt Disney World.
Is it almost like Runaway Train?
It's a mine train ride. I mean, it's very similar
Thank
to,
you.
of course, duh, right? But it's very similar to, what's that ride?
I think
called?
I've been on it. Is it newer? Maybe not.
It is. It's in
then
the
maybe
back
not.
of Fantasyland, or it's in Fantasyland.
Well, Fantasyland's not real, so it's Fantasyland.
It's a real heart, you know.
So you like this ride?
I do like.
You don't
this
think it's
ride.
too short?
I don't.
Worth the wait.
Yeah.
You hesitated.
That was a
That was,
hesitation.
that was a
the problem-
hesitation.
The problem is, most of the waits at Disney, I can wait for up to an hour.
Well,
I know this is way longer than an hour. It's at least the shortest I've ever seen it is 70 minutes, which is over an hour.
Is this one of those rides you can't use a fast pass on or Genie Plus?
You can, but they're gonna be sold out like right in the morning.
Isn't that freaking stupid? Now I don't want to get into it, but the point of getting a Genie Plus or Fast Pass are for rides like the Seven Dwarfs. So why are we taking that away? That makes no sense.
Because
to
they
me.
want to make more money.
That is the dumbest shit ever. Like, I am buying Genie Plus to get up faster on Rock and Roller Coaster. Why is that excluded? Not saying that it is, but it's just an example.
That's the point. They're trying to make more money,
Now I
man.
missed my
And that
train of
comes with
thought. I
leadership.
had a question. Now I forget it. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Damn it, Paul. Just start talking. I'm gonna
All right, we'll go to the next one.
No.
What? You want to stay on this a little bit?
A little bit.
I don't know what else to talk about this ride, man. It's based on Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Basically about it. It's well, there is a cool thing about this ride.
Okay.
It makes it different than a lot of other mine trains, and I think that's why I don't think it's ridiculously overrated because it has a different factor to it. So it kind of is on a swivel where the train will tilt left or right based on the momentum of the track. So if you're like turning to the left, the cart will swing to the right, and you'll feel like a little movement in your ride vehicle, which makes a lot of fun. And I do like this ride, which is different where, I mean, if you go to a lot of theme park rides, you can buy the on-ride photo.
Yeah.
But this ride, they offer you on-ride video for those photo opportunities. There's two in the attraction, and it's both down like the hills. And I have these videos of me and a group of friends when we went, and we're like going down the hill, and you get this awesome view of just like us like screaming. It's
Nice.
it's so much better than a photo. And I don't know a lot of attractions that do that.
I
which
forget
like.
what I was gonna say, but do they let on GoPros anymore still in Disney?
No.
They banned them.
Yeah,
Why?
it's a safety issue. I think we've talked about it on
having
the
a-
show actually.
I don't think we have.
recently. But I know SeaWorld does it. You're allowed to
SeaWorld?
SeaWorld. You
The
can
whale?
You could ride on coasters with GoPros. I think it has to be a chest mount or it has to be a wrist mount. And if Six Flags doesn't do it, it's a safety issue where, God forbid you have a GoPro or a camera or even phone. That's why they don't allow phones on rides. If they fall off, hit somebody, you could seriously injure somebody, and that's a liability.
Is it
of
a
the
safety
company.
issue, or is that what they just tell you?
No, that's a safety.
Because
issue,
like,
dude.
what if those guys who make YouTube videos about like what the ride looks like while they're on the
If
ride?
people sneaking POVs?
Yeah, that's not good. That's
No.
not good for business.
That's-
You don't even have to go on the ride. Yo, Ryan, what are you doing now? I'm going on 7 Dwarfs Mine Train. Oh, you're going to Disney? No, I'm going on YouTube. And then I'm going to go on it. That's how I'm going to ride it.
I can see it. yeah. Last
Alright,
one we
last
got
one.
here. The most overrated ride in the entirety of Walt Disney World. I agree with this. This is Peter Pan's Flight. Peter Pan's Flight, one of the common themes amongst readers picked for the most overrated rides was the attraction having too long of a line.
Oh,
This
now I
is
was
one
gonna
of the
say that.
longest lines at Disney. And what's crazy about it is it is an original attraction. So it's been around literally since Magic Kingdom opened, and it's still one of the longest waits in the park. That was the main explanation almost every rider or every single one of our readers gave for their top pick, Peter Pan's Flight. The classic attraction is a popular one, often garnering one of the longest wait times, as I said, and it's also very short. It's not worth the wait because it's so short. So as you continuously say, why am I waiting 3 hours for a ride that's a minute long?
All right.
And that's why.
Remember when I was like, no, Paul, stop. Like, I want to stay on this because I had a train of thought.
Yeah.
But then that train of thought,
You got
fairy
it.
dust, lost it. I got it back. Because that's what great podcasters do. They get that train of thought.
What's your thought?
Bring it back. This makes me mad because this list, there's a couple instances where they're like, oh, the line was too long. That's what you're signing up for going into Disney World.
That's true.
Lines are going to be long. It's a couple of them like, oh, it gets too crowded. It gets a little overwhelming. You're going the theme of the show, fucking Disney World. It's going to be crowded. Lines are going to be long. So to say that a ride's overrated because the line's long is unfair to that ride. Why does the ride get that treatment?
It's not the ride's fault. I agree. But it does add to the experience of that
Well,
ride.
yes, but
So no.
it's a good ride, so obviously it's going to be longer wait. It's Disney World. It's never not going to be crowded. So why is that the main factor in saying a ride's overrated? I think that's completely wrong.
That's your opinion,
It's a pretty damn good one.
I agree. But at the same time,
So let's just say Peter Pan had the same wait
Wait
as
time.
It's a Small World.
it's better than It's a Small World, yeah.
So it wouldn't be overrated at that point. You had to wait 15 minutes to get on.
Yeah,
it.
but if you put it up against, same idea. If you took away the wait time, you put it up against Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, it's not better than Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. It's not better than Space Mountain. It's not better than Thunder Mountain. It's not better than Haunted Mansion. But for some reason, that
What
line
about
is
Mr.
stupid long.
Toad?
Probably, yeah. Probably. But that's why that ride's not there anymore. It's gone because it wasn't the
No, we
creative
need
ride.
it back. We're gonna go to Florida and get Mr. Toad train back. What was the ride?
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Yeah, we need that wild ride back. We need Mr. Toad back. Wait,
But-
we did talk about this. Why isn't Nintendo isn't Disney? Like that can't happen, right?
No, Nintendo is doing a theme park partnership with Universal.
Okay,
So
so
there
that
are
hasn't
gonna be
happened yet.
No, there is a
I know we talked about it on the
Super
show.
Nintendo World is in Universal Studios Japan. So that is open if you do want to check out pictures and videos of that theme park or that land in that theme park. Definitely do it. It's awesome. And they're currently building versions of that land to Universal's Hollywood and Universal Epic Universe in Orlando.
Cool, good show. It went fast.
Yeah, let us
Flew
know
by.
what rides you don't like or you think are overrated at Disney World. I would love to see those.
Don't say because the line's long
Yeah, okay.
or if it's crowded.
So for Ryan's sake, if you take out all of the lines, what rides do you still think are overrated? And let us also know what your favorite ride is at Disney World. I love hearing what people's favorite rides are. So that's it. That's our show, baby.
Yep.
Good one, as always, We'll see you, as always.
Music, take us out.
Peace, baby.
Later.